Today, I would like to share with you a captivating book titled The Courage to be Disliked. Since its publication, this book has sold over several million copies in Asia, highlighting its significant influence. Its core philosophy is both simple and profound, guiding us to contemplate how to break free from various constraints in life and courageously pursue our own happiness. In our daily lives, we often encounter various troubles. Some people feel they are not fortunate enough and attribute all their dissatisfaction to past experiences, such as childhood shadows or past traumas. This way of thinking is known in psychology as determinism, which posits that everything we face today is determined by past causes. For instance, if someone was bitten by a dog in childhood, they might grow up fearing dogs, which seems like a logical conclusion. However, The Courage to be Disliked presents a new perspective based on the thoughts of psychologist Alfred Adler, advocating teleology. Adler believed that our current behavior is not determined by past causes but is guided by our present goals. At first glance, this might seem unbelievable, but upon closer reflection, it makes considerable sense. The book provides an example. A child, trembling with anger after being scolded by his mother, suddenly hears the phone ring. Upon realizing it's a call from his teacher, his voice immediately becomes gentle and polite as he converses respectfully. After hanging up, he realizes he was angry with his mother just moments ago, yet his emotions shifted instantly. Adler believed that the child was not angry because he couldn't control his emotions but because he used anger as a means to achieve a certain goal, such as attracting his mother's attention or expressing dissatisfaction. When he needed to speak with the teacher, his goal changed, and his emotions naturally shifted. Similarly, some people claim they can't fall in love again due to past heartbreaks. Adler would argue that it's not past experiences preventing them from loving again but their current unwillingness to face the risks and responsibilities that love might bring, thus using the past as an excuse. The real reason lies in their present choice, not to start a new relationship. So, what distinguishes teleology from determinism? The main difference is that determinism makes people feel their lives are bound by the past and unchangeable, whereas teleology empowers us with the initiative to change. As long as we alter our current goals, our behaviors and lives will transform accordingly. The second significant viewpoint of this book is that all troubles stem from interpersonal relationships. Many might find this statement puzzling. After all, life presents numerous issues, such as financial pressure, job dissatisfaction, health problems, and more. How can all these be attributed to interpersonal relationships? But consider this: when you feel poor, is it because you see others being wealthier? When you feel academically inadequate, is it because classmates perform better? When you feel unattractive, is it because others appear more appealing? Often, our troubles originate from comparisons with others and our position within interpersonal relationships. Adler believed that life is not a competition. When we view those around us as competitors, we perceive others' successes as our failures and others' happiness as our pain. This naturally leads to feelings of inferiority, even making us believe that people around us are mocking or looking down on us. But is there truly anyone in this world who pays attention to you 24 hours a day? In reality, the only person genuinely focused on you is yourself. Adler advocated that we should see others as partners, not competitors. When others succeed, we should sincerely offer our blessings. When others face difficulties, we should genuinely help. By doing so, our troubles in interpersonal relationships will significantly decrease. There's a saying in Judaism: if you don't live your own life, who will live it for you? If we constantly seek others' approval and care about their evaluations, we end up living someone else's life. To effectively handle troubles arising from interpersonal relationships, this book introduces the third core concept: separation of tasks. Adler believed that interpersonal conflicts often arise because we interfere with others' tasks. As long as we learn the technique of task separation, our interpersonal relationships will undergo significant changes. What is task separation? Simply put, when you encounter a problem, first consider, who ultimately bears the consequences of this problem? For example, if a child at home dislikes studying, Adler believed this is the child's task, not the parents', because parents cannot study on behalf of the child. The consequences of not studying are ultimately borne by the child. Therefore, what parents should do is establish good communication with their children, sincerely accompany and discuss with them when they face difficulties, rather than forcing them to study against their will. It's like the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Learning task separation is not only a sign of respect for others but also an act of trust. We must believe that others have the ability to handle their own life tasks and live the lifestyle they choose. This way, they will take responsibility for their own lives instead of blaming you for decisions made on their behalf. Similarly, we should not seek others' approval. How others view you is their task, not yours. We only need to be responsible for our own tasks. Others' thoughts are beyond our control. Only by clearly delineating each person's tasks can we freely choose our own lives. This brings us to another important theme of the book, the courage to be disliked. Many might feel puzzled upon hearing this phrase, why should I have the courage to be disliked? If we practice task separation in various interpersonal relationships and live by the principle of, you are you, I am me, doesn't that mean severing connections with others? But Adler does not encourage us to isolate ourselves, rather, he hopes we stop living to please others. When we no longer seek others' approval and no longer compromise ourselves to meet others' expectations, we can truly attain freedom. And when you choose to walk the path you believe is right, there will inevitably be people who dislike you. This is a natural phenomenon. True freedom is having the courage to be disliked. Others disliking you doesn't actually have any substantial impact on your life. You only need to focus on your own tasks and take responsibility for your choices. So, how can we cultivate this courage to be disliked? Adler proposed the concept of community feeling. Community feeling refers to seeing oneself as part of a community and deriving a sense of contribution from it. This community can be your family, work team, neighborhood, or even the entire society. Adler believed that people should not seek others' approval but should pursue community feeling. Our sense of existence doesn't come from others' evaluations but from our contributions to the community. When we contribute to the community, we feel our own value and gain a sense of belonging. To cultivate a sense of community, Adler proposed 3 steps. First, accepting oneself, fully accepting one's own existence, without denying oneself due to flaws or shortcomings. Even if no one appreciates you, you must still acknowledge your own value. Second, trusting others, this kind of trust must be unconditional. Only when you are willing to trust others will others trust you in return, and only then can a healthy community be established. Of course, this is not blind trust, but rather a conscious attitude of actively choosing to believe. Finally, contributing to others, although we should not interfere in others' tasks, we can contribute to the community. Any act that benefits the community, no matter how small, can help you feel your own value. When you possess a sense of community, you will come to understand, your existence itself has value, and there is no longer a need to seek the approval of others. In doing so, you are truly liberated from the judgment of others and can move toward freedom. Finally, I would like to emphasize that Adler's psychology does not advocate living an isolated life. Rather, it encourages us to build healthy interpersonal relationships and face our lives with courage. Happiness is not a far-off, unattainable goal, but something that exists in every choice we make in the present moment. As long as we can break free from the constraints of the past, stop living according to others' expectations, take courageous responsibility for our own lives, and actively contribute to the community, we can attain true happiness. I hope today's sharing has brought you some inspiration. Thank you all for listening.